Emily Carter had spent her entire life surrounded by luxury, yet she had never truly experienced freedom. At 26, she lived in a breathtaking mansion overlooking Boston Harbor, where marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and priceless artwork filled every room. Her father, Richard Carter, was one of the most powerful businessmen in America, the founder of Carter Automotive Group, a billion-dollar company known across the country. To the public, the Carter family represented the American dream. Wealth, success, and influence followed them everywhere. Behind the mansion's iron gates, however, Emily's life felt more like a carefully managed business contract than a family. Every decision was made for her. The clothes she wore, the charity events she attended, even the people she was expected to date were chosen because they fit the Carter image. Richard loved his daughter deeply. But after losing his wife to cancer when Emily was only 14, he became overprotective. His greatest fear was that someone would use Emily to get access to the family's fortune. Emily smiled for magazine covers and charity galas, but every night she wondered what it felt like to be treated like an ordinary woman instead of a billionaire's daughter. One chilly October evening, after attending an investment dinner downtown, Emily decided to drive herself home instead of using her family's chauffeur. The quiet drive through the outskirts of the city gave her a rare sense of peace. Then, without warning, a loud pop echoed beneath the hood. Warning lights flashed across the dashboard. The engine sputtered before the car rolled to a stop beside a deserted two-lane road. Emily stepped outside as cold rain began to fall. She reached for her phone, but there was no signal. Cars rushed past without slowing down. Just as panic started to set in, she noticed the soft glow of a small garage a few hundred yards away. The weathered sign read, "Jackson Auto Repair." Inside, a tall mechanic in his early 30s looked up from beneath the hood of an old pickup truck. His hands were stained with grease, and his work shirt carried the name Noah Bennett. "You okay?" he asked with a warm smile. "My car died," Emily admitted, brushing rainwater from her hair. "Let's take a look." Noah didn't recognize her designer clothes or the expensive sports car as symbols of wealth. He simply saw someone who needed help. Within an hour, he diagnosed the problem, replaced a damaged belt, and got the engine running again. "How much do I owe you?" Emily asked, pulling out her wallet. Noah shook his head. "You've already had a rough night. Just promise me you'll make it home safely." Emily stared at him in surprise. For the first time in years, someone expected absolutely nothing from her. And without realizing it, that simple act of kindness changed both of their lives forever. Richard Carter's black SUV came to a stop in front of the garage, its headlights cutting through the evening darkness. The moment he stepped out, the warm atmosphere disappeared. Emily slowly let go of Noah's hand. "What are you doing here?" she asked, trying to remain calm. "I could ask you the same question," Richard replied, his voice cold. His eyes scanned the modest repair shop before settling on Noah's grease-stained uniform. "You've been lying to me for weeks." Noah looked confused. "Sir, is everything okay?" Richard ignored him. "Emily, get in the car, now." She didn't move. No. It was the first time in years she had openly defied her father. Richard's jaw tightened. "Do you have any idea who this man is?" Emily answered quietly. "Yes, he's honest. He works hard. He treats people with respect." Richard laughed bitterly. "He's a mechanic. You are the future of a billion-dollar company. Do you honestly think this relationship has a future?" Noah finally realized who Emily really was. "Wait, Carter? As in Carter Automotive?" Emily lowered her eyes. "I'm sorry. I wanted you to know me before you knew my last name." Noah took a step back, hurt more by the secret than by her wealth. "You should have trusted me." "I wanted to," Emily whispered. "I was afraid everything would change." Richard interrupted. "Because it has changed." The next morning, Richard made good on his threat. Noah discovered that the landlord of Jackson Auto Repair had abruptly canceled the lease. The property had been purchased overnight by a corporation linked to Carter Automotive. Within days, Noah's small business was forced to close. Emily confronted her father inside his downtown Boston office. "You destroyed his business." "I protected my daughter." "No, you tried to control her." Richard looked out the window, overlooking the city skyline. "People with money don't fall in love with people like him. They fall in love with what comes with the money. Emily's voice broke. You've spent your whole life teaching me how to build a successful business, but you never taught me how to recognize real love. For the first time, Richard had no answer. That evening, Emily drove to the repair shop only to find the building empty. The toolboxes were gone. The garage doors were locked. A handwritten note was taped to the front entrance. Emily, I care about you more than you'll ever know. But I won't let your family destroy your future because of me. Please don't look for me. I hope one day you find the happiness you deserve. With tears streaming down her face, Emily folded the note against her heart. She had finally found someone who loved her for who she truly was. And now, he was gone. Weeks passed, but Emily refused to give up. Between board meetings and charity events, she spent every free moment searching for Noah. She visited repair shops across Massachusetts, called old suppliers, and even drove through small towns where independent mechanics were known to open family-owned garages. Every lead ended the same way. No, sorry, haven't seen him. For the first time in her life, money couldn't solve her problem. One afternoon, while volunteering at a community center her late mother had once supported, Emily noticed a familiar pickup truck parked outside. Her heart raced as she walked inside. There was Noah, teaching a group of teenagers how to repair bicycle chains and small engines. He had accepted a job mentoring young people who couldn't afford trade school, believing that giving them practical skills could change their lives. When he saw Emily, he froze. You found me. I was never going to stop looking, she said, tears filling her eyes. Noah smiled sadly. Your father was right about one thing. Our worlds are different. Emily stepped closer. Our bank accounts are different. Our hearts aren't. Before Noah could answer, another voice interrupted. I owe both of you an apology. Richard Carter stood in the doorway. His face looked older than Emily remembered. After Emily left the company for several weeks to search for Noah, Richard had finally understood what success without family truly looked like. He realized he had spent years protecting his daughter from strangers while slowly pushing away the one person who mattered most. He turned to Noah. I judged you by your job instead of your character. Then he handed Noah an envelope. Inside was the deed to Jackson Auto Repair. I bought the building back, Richard said, not to control you, to return what I took. Noah looked at Emily before accepting it. Months later, Jackson Auto Repair reopened with a fresh coat of paint and a new apprenticeship program for young mechanics. Carter Automotive became its first corporate partner, funding scholarships for students who wanted to learn skilled trades. On a warm spring evening, surrounded by friends, employees, and neighborhood families, Noah proposed to Emily outside the garage where they had first met. She smiled through happy tears. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Richard watched from the front row, clapping harder than anyone else. He had finally learned that a person's true worth isn't measured by the size of their paycheck, the title on their business card, or the neighborhood they come from. It's measured by the kindness they show, the integrity they live by, and the love they give without expecting anything in return. That was the greatest investment any of them would ever make.